Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It could be any one of those right now because it's such a dark, dreary day. But I guess it depends on your definition of dreary, because these little raindrops and these clouds and this cool air is actually something I really enjoy. But anyways, good afternoon, good day, good night, whatever it is. My name is Beami, and welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about why I feel like I am capable of anything, and so are you. First off, I just want to start off by saying a lot of people, when they hear me say I believe I'm capable of anything, they somehow add to the end of that and therefore think I'm better than you, which is not the case. Part of the reason I think I'm capable of anything is because I think all of us are capable of anything. And so some of the reasons why I feel like I'm capable of anything is, the process and progress that I've made as a person, psychologically, spiritually, physically, mentally. I was a kid, I've mentioned some of this before, but as a kid, I was scared of everything. I was scared of the dark. I was scared of men. I was scared of women. I was scared of using the bathroom. I was scared of everything, like everything. Going outside, being inside, like I was born into some of the scariest, darkest, most, not what most of us, what not us, like, I don't know. You get what I'm saying. Like, really, really dark and dangerous and toxic and just next level, like, not goodness. And, that was my origin into the world. That's what I thought the world was. I thought it was violence and anger and assault and rage and sex, even though I didn't even know what that was yet, or the word. And I have been able to, year by year, moment by moment, fear by fear, rise above, work, make it through, and realize. And I've had a lot of those moments where it's like, oh, that wasn't so bad. And when you have those moments, you're like, well, then it was all right. Like I was holding on to that and making it worse than I needed to, or I was holding on to that and misperceiving reality and the truth and how things can really be and go. And whether that's in terms of like having a loving father, being a good friend, realizing that there's no boogeyman, no one's coming to kidnap me. The dark is a friend. And even things, and then, I've had a lot of those moments where like, oh, it wasn't so bad. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But I've also had those moments where it's like, man, that was incredibly rough. That was really tough. That was really difficult. And as I experienced that, I didn't know how I was going to make it through stuff like losing my dad to cancer, overcoming suicidal thoughts and ideations, losing my best friend in a car accident, being homeless, being broke, being in an abusive relationship, losing everything. There's like my dogs being stolen, like every situation, like drastically like that. There was like things where I was like, oh, I'm screwed, I'm done for, it's hopeless, and it was just too overwhelming. And yet also through all of those things, I made it through. I kept going. I got further. I made it past. Like I And I was always glad I did. And really, that was the lesson I learned as a little kid, where I was like, I just wanted to die. I just wanted to die. I did not want to be here. I did not want to keep doing this. I did not want to keep fighting. I did not want to keep trying. I couldn't see how anything got better. But there's always been this, no matter how big or small it may have been in me over the course of my life at different moments, there's always been this distinct part of me that's like, no, it's worth it. It's worth it. Keep going. Someday, somehow, some way, you're going to be glad you did. And the more I've done that, the more I've had moments where I have a triumph, I have a success, I have a stretch of like wonderful friends and community and developments, and I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm glad I did. And the more that's happened, the more, and then when something negative has happened, I no longer feel this like straight to overwhelm desperation of like, oh, there's no hope. I'm not, because every time I feel that, oh, there's no hope, oh, this is too overwhelming, oh, it's insurmountable, I'm like, wait, but I felt that how many freaking times about how many things that were actually a lot more drastic, a lot more intense, a lot more defeating and degrading than this right now. So if I felt this before, and I know that I made it through the times where I felt this even heavier, then obviously I'm gonna make it through this. And if I made it through those things and felt glad about it, like I didn't just make it through and I'm like, oh, well, all right, I guess, made it through and now I'm just here. It's like, no, I made it through and I'm like, hell yeah. I made it through and I'm proud. I made it through and I'm happy. I made it through and I had an incredible experience or relationship or connection or moment or lesson or opportunity or contribution that like is the other side of life that I didn't even know I could experience. I didn't even know I could feel. I didn't even know existed in our, that I had the ability or the option or the opportunity or the, just like, I didn't know that could happen to me or in the world. And that's beautiful and that's incredible. And so I just keep going. And I think that this has just developed into a mindset of mine where I'm like, yeah, I can do anything. I can overcome anything. And if I can overcome anything, then what if I choose to do something on the other side of that overcoming? On the other side of, oh, I'm battling and scratching and clawing through trauma or through, not having money or through not having a social circle or through whatever, not having this or that. Then what if I reach a foundation, a stable place, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna choose to do that. I'm gonna go get that. I'm gonna, and I believe I'm capable of anything. I believe if I choose something that I want to do, I'm like, you know what, I want to go do that. Then there's nothing that prevents me or stops me from doing that. That's up to me. That's my, responsibility at that point. To do whatever it takes to make it through to achieve that goal. Like if I wanted to go play football right now, or play basketball, or play ping pong, tennis, then there's a ton of options in front of me to lay out that plan to make it happen. I go hire a tennis coach. I start practicing. I join a league or tournament. And I learn. I study it. I study the game. I dive into books and YouTube videos, and I learn the hit. And then I teach myself muscle memory of how to play, and then I work on those skills that I've already developed fundamentally, and then I just go from there. And and obviously not everyone's going to be good at everything necessarily. I mean, in practice you can be good at anything, really. That's what I'm saying. But if I want to go be a lawyer, if I want to go be a doctor, I just get to choose to go do that. Now I don't want to be a tennis player or a doctor or a lawyer, but I do want to learn like as much as I can. So there has been times where I studied what lawyers study. I studied law, and I've even thought about like, can I take the bar exam without like going to school and like getting a lawyer's certification? Because I don't care about any of that. I just want to challenge myself to see if I know enough to pass, just to like say I did. I don't need the other stuff that comes with it. But also like so then the other aspect of this is kind of physical. Like, I believe my physical body is capable of anything. It's like, well, why do I believe that? It's like, well, when I was homeless and when I was in that abusive relationship and when I was wandering the streets of America, of Arizona and Colorado and New Mexico and even Austin, Texas, San Antonio, all over, even Puerto Rico, like, my body was put through so many different climates, temperatures, extreme weather, whether we're talking about 110 in Texas, and I'm spending all day outside. I don't have a place to stay. I don't have someone to take me in, type of thing. Like, and then on the other side, it's like, oh, I'm in the Panhandle. It's winter. It's I remember my ex's car getting stolen by her dad and me getting her out of jail and me being there to wait for her. And then when she got out, like, her dad had stolen her car, so we didn't have transportation anymore. So like, we're wandering the streets of Amarillo during while the biggest blizzard they've had in like 20 years was, and this was in 2022 in February. And like, it's -6 degrees with 50 mile per hour winds, snowing, absolutely frigid. We have like a hoodie, but not like Arctic weather gear. She didn't even have regular shoes. Her shoes had holes in them. Like, if the human body can make it through that, and when I say my body, I'm not talking about just my body. I'm not special. I just happen to have a human body because I'm a human being. And if the human body can withstand that, and honestly, it's not just humans, like dogs, all animals, birds, they can make it through, like, life can make it through some of the toughest environments and most excruciating circumstances, and you just have to find a way. So like I said earlier about choosing opportunity and stuff, if I can come through in dire, extreme, intense environments, then what happens when I willingly, consciously choose to put my body through something? What happens if I want to teach myself or train to dunk? Well, I'm gonna dunk. If I want to train to run a 40 as fast as I can, well, my body, I'm gonna take it as hard as it can go, or 100 meters or whatever, like hurdles, like long jump, high jump, pole vault, all these athletic stuff that one can do. Like, then I can do that. And that's probably one of the reasons why I feel younger than I ever have physically. I feel the most in shape, the most healthy, even though I'm 29 and I'm supposed to be on like the incline downward in my life. Like, I'm just getting started. And a big reason why is because I spent my whole life like feeling like I was less than, and listening to my stepmom and other people that were like, oh, you'll never do that, or you can't do that, or oh, you're too this or too that for that, and giving me nothing but limiting beliefs and putting me in a box and putting walls around me. And like, the more that I've gotten away from my abusers and also just been challenged by my circumstances, the stronger I've become, and the more like belief I've had in not just myself, but in the human race as a whole. Like, I feel a strong responsibility to come through for myself, to push myself to the absolute maximum capabilities that I can exist in, for, as an example, for, to showcase to like the entire world, like, look, this is what you can do when you believe, when you try, when you put in the effort, when you work for it. You can do anything. And you can say, oh, well, you can't do anything, some things are impossible. Like, can I fly? And I don't know, man. I'm not convinced that I can't fly. And as insane as that sounds, people are going to say I'm mentally ill, people are going to say I'm crazy, people are going to say I need therapy, people are going to say all the things that they always say to me. But like, what if we're just missing something? What if there's a part of my subconscious or my, that I just haven't unlocked yet, that is preventing me from being able to fly? If I can telepathically think of somebody and send them energy and they receive it, whether they know it or not, which I fully believe in, and then they call me or something, then what if I put instead of putting all of my intention into, oh, I'm gonna work at this restaurant, I'm gonna work at this corporate place, or I'm gonna work in tech, or I'm gonna, and all of my energy and attention and focus is going into that, what if I just channeled all that energy into programming myself to believe that I can fly or at least levitate or something? Obviously there's aerodynamics that go into this and the physical reality, that's why airplanes exist and why birds have wings. No one's just zooming all over levitating. But what if there's a future where that is more likely, where we're more directly in touch with the quantum realm and we are kind of more leavening it to reference Stranger Things? And I don't know, I partly believe that all this is in media and all these superheroes exist and stuff because we're disconnecting from our own awareness of ourselves as human beings on Earth and giving it to some fantastical character on a screen, when the inspiration behind all that stuff and the origin of those ideas comes from the fact that we are the ones that are capable of that, not just made up imaginary characters in comic books or whatever. But as far-fetched as that is, my whole point is that whatever I believe that I'm capable in, I believe that you are as well. I just feel like if I'm the one who believes it, then I'm the one that has to do it. It's one thing to talk about it. It's one thing to say, hey, I believe that you can do this. And everyone's going to be like, obviously I can't. And I'm going to be like, well, you can. And let me show you the evidence that you can, because I can. And if I can, you can. And I just want to reach that point. Anyways, I know this was a bit of a ramble. I'm about to catch the bus to head home. I actually just quit my job because I'm getting I lined up another job, and I'm just expanding and aligning with the right opportunities for me to be more successful, to put myself in a better position, to take care of my dogs in a better way, and myself and those around me, and to live the life of my dreams. And I'm just in the flow of that, and it's getting better every day, and I'm incredibly grateful and happy and proud of myself. And I look forward to hearing more from y'all and what all you have going on, and letting this whole thing play out. Appreciate you being here. Much love, and see you soon. Bye.